Hey there, Buttercup. Welcome to this week's reading. So we've got 3 piles, and I just finished doing the readings, and oh, very interesting. I am going to be very eager to hear which pile that you picked. But for pile number 1, we've got the sun, and for pile number 2, we've got the world, and for pile number 3, we have the star. These are cards that showed up. So I want you to empty your mind, and you may want to step back and take some deep breaths. You may want to kind of soften your gaze and see if you're pulled toward one of the cards, or if one of them seems like it's glowing or kind of quivering, or one seems a little brighter. I think I already said glow. See if you can just feel which one your intuition is telling you to watch. You could even imagine there's a number 1, number 2, number 3, and see if one of those numbers pops out, comes toward you, gets really big. Those are ways that I pick cards, by the way. I'm just sharing. So please let me know in the comments which one you picked and what the heck these stories are about, because there is definitely a link between 2 of these piles, possibly more. So good luck, and I'm eager to hear what happens. All right, have an amazing week. Hey there, group number 1. Wow, you've got some interesting things going on here. This is definitely a more money, work, projects, not relationship stuff that may be going on for you this week. So see if this resonates, if you were drawn to this pile. There's something happening where you are not feeling, you may just be feeling like, this is like the worst, or this is like such a rough patch in my life. And you don't have to be feeling that dramatic, but I think there's at least one person that just may be feeling like, really, like I'm at the bottom of the barrel. And trust me, I've heard a lot of people saying that. There's something that you don't feel like you have resources to give out. That can be literal. That can be money. That can especially be energy, and not feeling that you have something to give, that you don't feel like you have something tangible to give the world. You may be thinking about your mission. You may be wondering, what's the purpose of my life? You may be wondering what's next for my life. That something is trying to end, and you're trying to get yourself to that next phase, but you may be feeling stuck. I want you to know that not one thing that I am feeling, being shown, or I'm seeing in the cards shows me that there is anything actually, how do I want to say that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Most of the blockage, now I know there's real things going on in your life. There's a lot of tangible energy, but just know that the huge shifts, the changes will happen first and foremost from your mindset. That there are beliefs, and they feel like they are old. They're like from 6 years old and before, that have you feeling small, have you feeling stuck. And I feel like you're bumping up against that, which is good. And this is why they had me pull this. It's so interesting that they made me pull out this deck. One, I mean, it's Halloween, so this month, so how appropriate. But I'm actually working on my own oracle deck. And when they told me to pull this, I'm like, oh gosh, this kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the archetypes that I'm playing with. So I like that we're in this energy of, the reason why they're having me say that is because to see these childlike images is to show you even more that whatever these financial, or I feel like there's a lot of financial and career stuff going on for a lot of you, that your mindset is the pivotal component that can then help shift what's going on in the external world. And that's the one thing you've got some control over. Because I bet you've been feeling like you maybe just feeling like those old feelings from childhood, or just those defeated feelings sometimes, or just especially those. There could be a variety of other things. But I want you, the one thing that they showed me, because there's so many ways of working on this. If you're a fan of Byron Katie, I will endlessly recommend that you go check that out if you don't know about her. But that wasn't actually what I was shown, although everybody could benefit from that. I was shown you writing in the morning. I was shown specifically 2 pages for some reason in a journal, and you just are free writing. So if you're feeling lousy, you write about lousy stuff, and you write with gusto. If you're feeling angry, you just vent out and rage and say whatever you want, and you can destroy the paper afterwards if you're worried about somebody finding it and thinking you're absolutely crazy. But hopefully you're in a safer environment. Doesn't matter. But I want you to write down without censoring what these little creatures, these sweet little aspects of you from childhood are wanting to say. And you do not censor a thing. They may be vile and mean and petty and jealous and cruel. You just imagine them being the things that are speaking and being written down are these cute little creatures. How in the world? I mean, they could say anything to me and I'd be like, oh my God, you're so adorable. So I want you writing those 2 pages, and then I want you shifting gears. Like, you may even want to step into a little archetype that you're imagining, whatever emotion you're feeling. Imagine them looking like these characters in these cards. Let that character write freely with no censoring. Then I want you to bring your soul or your adult self, whatever term feels best. And then I want you to let that part reread that. If you have to step away for a minute and then come back in, so you really can embody this other part of you, this wiser, kind of the overseer, the oversoul. I don't know what even really that means, but I feel drawn to say that. So whatever that means to you. But a higher perspective coming in. And I want you then to let that part of you read those notes and give some, you may want to use a little notes in the side on a 3rd page, or just sit and talk to this little sweet one. Like, oh, I hear you and I'm there for you. And hey, let me tell you that, maybe she needs to hear that it's safe. Maybe it needs to hear from this soul part of you that there's infinite abundance, especially abundance. And I have a feeling there's some money stuff coming up, because I'm just keep being sucked over to those 6 of Pentacles, those pentacles. It's like, oh. So just know, when my guides have told me so many times that the first component of money is to embody. It's an energetic step first. And your energy, most of the time, pretty much always, comes from our thoughts. So you doing some mindset work, not judging, letting out whatever wants to speak, these adorable little cuties, and then giving some guidance back as if you were an adult and these were your children, and one of your children vented out these 2 pages. What would you say to them? And say that to yourself. When you really take that, like this should be number 1 priority this week. That's your, hopefully for like a year or 2, but this, just a little bite size for this week. Because I am telling you, they kept telling me to pull more cards. And then I was ready to turn on the camera and they're like, no, grab the bottom card on that deck. And I'm like, really? Okay, meaning, can these get better? You've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun. And I know the Wheel of Fortune came out recently. I think there is as you get yourself aligned, as you kind of flip, they're showing me a mirror of the world and the Wheel of Fortune, that you're feeling like you're at the bottom of the well, the bottom of the world. And in fact, there is a cycle happening that if you can learn to surrender these feelings, and that surrender practice can happen through that journaling, that there is such a sense of knowing that you are safe, knowing you have enough. And it's interesting. It's not that you won't have more money, but they're showing me that first and foremost, you've got this queen over here, and she already knows she's safe. She only has one coin, but she doesn't need to see more right at this moment. She knows that she's abundant. She is a woman who has figured it all out. She has come all the way through the suits. She knows how to turn all this energy and spiritual work and inner alignment into something real and tangible, and she is doing that. You've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, and there are beautiful things waiting. You're just in a rut. So you need some hope, and you will have to do your part. It's like I'm seeing the universe coming halfway, and they're there halfway. They need you to come the other halfway to meet them, so that you guys can powwow your energies together to create some interesting things. Whether this is a project or a job or I would assume there's something about money and career for, I think, most of you. One thing that I feel drawn to tell you is that how my guides were showing me years ago when I lived in San Diego. I would go up onto this beautiful overlook of the entire city, and I would sit there by myself. It was this hidden little gem of a spot. And I remember them starting to teach me about the sun. And they said what most of us do almost entirely is we are more like the energy of planets. We circle around things that have more energy, more gusto. We externalize our worth to the outside world. We make the outside world the sun. And we're just kind of spinning and spinning and spinning, and we never find our own anchor. We never find our own grounding. We're just kind of forever and ever and ever spinning. And they said the sun is a symbolic understanding of the sun is so strong, so powerful, so full. I mean, think about this, like incredible density and these gases and this heat and this alive life force. And it is so strong that it literally sucks everything else toward it. Giant planets are frozen in its sphere, in its what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm talking about, like in this orbit. And so we want you to remember that as those thoughts get rectified, that, gosh, what are all these kinds of thoughts? I'm not good enough. What I want to do, it'll never happen. There's not enough money. It hasn't happened before, so my dreams aren't going to happen in the future. Maybe the state of the world that's really throwing you for a loop. Those are all thoughts, and the pain is coming not from the external reality, not to make light of the reality. It's coming from the thoughts. Our pain always comes from thoughts. Again, not making light of it. This is a very challenging thing. But I know people in profound peace, and it really doesn't matter what's happening, really doesn't matter what's happening. And we want to at least know that that's a possibility down the road, and we make our baby steps toward it. So the sun, I want you really thinking about that's that place, that's your goal. And that's where your freedom lies. And that's when you are free from all those swords, that's mental energy, that's mind and thought. So I want you to really be looking at that as those voices quiet. You are the sun. You don't have to effort to become the sun. That's your natural state. That's your glorious soul center. But it's being covered up by all these swords, all the hurts, all the misperceptions, all the things your parents, well-meaningly, they taught you, and they were all wrong. All of our parents did that. The whole culture does that. And so you're taking out these swords because you are sitting on such a potential. And I just keep seeing the number one. Number one is your thought, is working with your thoughts. And then number two is prosperity. It will come in that order. So, because they showed me that number one and then number two. And I saw prosperity after the number two. So see how that resonates this week, Drop a comment if you have a question or if you notice there's a theme going on here, and let's see what happens, in the next reading, and see how this is carried forward. It's like, I'm seeing like part B. It's like, this is part A and there's like a saga unfolding. So do your homework this week. Just stay super focused on your mindset and let me know how your journaling goes, and I'll see you next time. All right. Good luck, number 1. Bye. Hey, group 2. Okay, if you were drawn to number 1, even if you weren't drawn to number 1, you might want to go watch number 1, because no wonder I heard my guides laughing. And at the end of group number 1, they said that there was going to be a saga. There was an A and a B. Well, I didn't really quite realize it was going to be today that we were going to be getting part B. So you probably I have a feeling for some of you, there is something in what I rambled about in the first part that is pertinent. Because half of the cards here are from that spread, but interestingly, they are flipped in a different position. The position we want them to be flipped into. So they're not joking with the part A, part B. It's so funny. So I feel like I'm just continuing as the same story. Hopefully you'll go back and listen to 1. You're in this state right now that there are some thoughts that are stressing you out. Here's what it feels like. This feels like this is for someone who is feeling like, here's an example. Somebody who wants to put their work out into the world. You want to make a difference. You want to become a coach. You want to read tarot. You want to start your own business. You want to get a new job. And you are noticing that you're stalling. You're noticing that you're feeling overwhelmed with all the competition. They're showing me an image of a friend of mine that I was talking to earlier today. And one of the things that she was saying, she's like, oh my gosh, I go to Facebook and Instagram and it's just nothing but these advertisements. It's just this relentless chase. And we were talking about the energy of most of the people in them, and there is such a lack mentality. There's such a push and a chase and a forcing and an efforting that could send the best of us on even a good day, kind of throw us for a spin, where, because they're showing me that the center card, that 5 of Wands, this competition is a bit of the crux of maybe what is triggering some of this. They really, and I'm telling you, I feel like somebody is shoving me from my back to say this. They need to impress upon you, which I tried to do in group 2 or in group 1 as well, that they need you to know you are a one of a kind. This world will con the best of a brain into thinking there's something wrong with them, there's not enough, they're not good enough, they can't compete. It's really important to not compare yourself to people who have been around the block for a long time, because every single one of them had to start somewhere, and that's you got to get your sea legs somewhere. But you are so profoundly, ridiculously capable and worthy of whatever this thing is that you are wanting to create. This definitely feels like career, mission, having more meaning in your life, giving back in some way. And it's so interesting. I almost started referring to one of the cards in the last section as the 6 of Cups. It felt like that energy. And of course, there's the 6 of Cups showing up right away as a bit of the fix for this 9 of Swords, meaning, like I was saying in the other one, that there is some childhood stuff, and I'm being shown 6 years. 6, no later than 7 and before, which of course is where most of our stuff is, but there's something around like the age of 6-ish. So you may want to even think, where was I? Was I in kindergarten, first grade? Was there some big thing that happened that that you're putting to rest, that we can have even just a pivotal moment. Like my guides showed me in my 50s that there was a moment where I got put in the corner in first grade. And they said, you made a decision without being conscious of it to never not be perfect. I know it's an awkward way to phrase that. But they said you lived the rest of your entire life operating off of this subconscious belief. And so there was just a terror of ever getting scolded or told that you were wrong or bad again. So think back, because I feel like, and it might be something from school, because I'm seeing a classroom for some of you, that may be a helpful trigger. So working with your beliefs, I'd go back and listen to one, will help you put that old stuff, that childhood stuff to rest. That competition is kind of a flashback of your childhood, where maybe you didn't feel popular, you didn't feel like you could get ahead, whatever the heck that means. You maybe didn't feel included, whatever your flavor of pain that everybody goes through. They're showing me that you are one of those leaves swirling around the world. You were put here exactly, perfectly, whether you believe me or not, which you may not, because you're in the Nine of Swords. None of us can see straight. They are showing me, before I even turn on the camera, that you are vitally important. There are things that only you can present, can share, and you may not believe that, but I really want you to do some writing about this. Go back and listen to one. I know I keep saying that annoyingly. I want you writing 2 pages a day for this week. And especially if you were drawn mostly to this group, I want you writing like as if you are that little character that's feeling, in the Nine of Swords, that's just feeling all out of sorts, hugging a teddy bear. I want you to let that part of you who doesn't feel capable, who doesn't feel like they can compete, who doesn't feel like things can work out, it's not worth trying, I'm never going to be like them, whatever. Write that out and really take a look at that. There was something they were going to have me say, and I lost my train of thought. It was something about their writing exercise. All right, if it doesn't pop back in my head, I'll put it in the description. But they're trying to push it through. Something about your gifts. You're not owning your gifts enough. Definitely. You have to realize that there are people that, whatever this is, maybe you want to, volunteer and help animals. I literally don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be some kind of healing thing or some big overt spiritual mission. People are going to need your energy. They will trust you. They will trust your abilities exactly as they are. They're right on schedule. And whatever it is that you're imagining, it will grow. That you have something to give. And it's important that you're giving. You may have gotten into a rut where you may look back and go, ugh, I've just been so blah that I haven't been putting myself out there. I haven't been helping anyone. I've just been too stuck in my stuff. There's something about giving back. This can be, again, with a career. This can just be reaching out to a friend that you know is struggling, or volunteering, or just going out to a store and decide, I'm going to go home. I'm going to walk through this grocery store until I have complimented 3 people. It can look a whole gamut of things, but you need to know that you have things to give. And people are waiting for you. And I know people say this stuff all the time. And you may want to gag. Sometimes I do too. But I'm telling you, they are telling me to tell you this. And somebody just says yes. You need to know that it's just... There was a theme last time because it's popping back up. But thinking about baby steps. Just take one step and another step and another step. You need to know that you are worthy right now. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't make it into some big giant that having the destination is never the point anyway. You are so special. I don't mean that in you're like the best scientist or the best public speaker or the best artist ever. You are unique. Nobody can do what you do. Nobody. Not in the very unique way. So you've got to look at these beliefs that are limiting you. So every day, write 2 pages of crappy beliefs. Don't censor them. Love them up. Let them flow. And then let another part of you, or invite a guide in, pretend that an archangel steps in who is nothing but love and light. And it's going to tell you feedback on those 2 pages with love and tenderness and compassion. So I want you really taking seriously, and they're showing me actually 5 days, so I'm not sure what that's about, but for the next 5 days, I want you really hunkering down and doing these 2 pages and working with the thoughts that are telling you you're not good enough, that what you want to do is you're not worthy of, and that people wouldn't want it. They do. People will want whatever this is, even if it's just you getting out of the house and socializing. Your friends are waiting for you. You are so important. And in this world, it's really easy with all the craziness going on to get lost in these thoughts where it's like, we can get really defeated. But my goodness, I just want to grab you and shake you and hug you and just like look in your gorgeous little face and like just really impress upon you. There is a whole world waiting. Even with challenging times, we all incarnated knowing that this was going to be what it was. How are we going to enjoy it the most? Not stress out, not feel like there's not room for us. And I want you knowing you can pave your way big time. Okay, I think I probably beat the dead horse here, but go back and let me know if they're showing me B. So that was part A, part B. Let's see if we have a part C. Who knows? This may just be one giant reading again. All right. Oh my goodness. Group number 2. This is hysterical. I am so eager to hear what the heck is this stuff bubbling up that you're wanting to do. Share. What have you been stuck with? What have you been pondering, and what have you been wanting to get off the ground? Definitely let me know. This is incredible. All right, on to group number 3. Thanks, number 2. Bye. Hey there, number 3. Okay, well, at least we are starting something that isn't identical to group 1 and group 2. So if you were drawn to them, there was a saga going on that was definitely connected. Now, this absolutely can be somewhat connected, but this feels like this feels like it's about a relationship. So, and the dynamics of learning about how to heal. And then this could be, I have a feeling this is going to be with a love partner, or someone that you're interested in. I think a lot of you will be with this person. It could be a boss, could be a parent, could be a friend. But it's so funny, I tell you, at the very beginning, before I even started group 1, they told me the Ace of Cups, or the Ace of Pentacles, sorry. And I was like, okay, well, we've got like a really important, powerful new start. I'm not sure what context that's going to show up in, but I heard them with my ears. And of course, here it's our last card of these 3 piles. So there is something going on, and it's so funny. We've still got some carryover from the previous one with the 6 of Pentacles. So this feels like past stuff. This feels like maybe you haven't... It feels like maybe that there's a sweetness in a connection. And it's like both of your little inner children with this masculine figure and with yourself. It feels like the core of it is so sweet. And I wonder if you have been going through some things where you have not been feeling, which could tie to group 1 and 2, not feeling like you are full inside. This could be kind of what you've been going through in a bigger way of feeling kind of empty, feeling kind of lost with your mission, feeling like you're kind of wondering about your purpose and kind of getting yourself back on track. And then this group may be a carryover for some of you of how do you incorporate this into a connection that you're in? It's interesting because I remember they're showing me, this was a couple readings ago, but there was I think it was showing up as a King of Wands, but it is the same energy person that is struggling a little bit or a lot, that they are trying to find their core, their strength, their true, healthy masculine. And I feel like there's somebody who's going through something, going through their own journey. But here you are, you're a female, so it feels like feminine energy that I'm talking to. And it's just easier to do our healing work because the world condones it and encourages it far more than with men. So you've been doing this work, and you're healing. I feel like I'm repeating a reading from like 3 weeks ago or 4. Your healing is going to directly impact this person. It's going to get them back on track. You can't do somebody's work for you, for them. But my guides have also said, they've told me that our partners absolutely do affect our energy. And they said, just make sure you like them. Because, you're entwining energy fields. So as you are really taking this healing work seriously, and you're getting yourself back on track, and you are becoming full, and you're shining brightly, and you're finding that North Star, that's going to help this person start this next phase of their life. They may stumble. It may be not, what you want. I want you really thinking about changing your perspective on what you expect of this person. That what you may call a little thing is a really big deal. And it is the start of a journey for them that will build. It's like you want to really, for homework for this group, it's 5 minutes a day. And then they're showing me 2 weeks. So like 5 minutes a day, just visualize the nice, wonderful things about your partner. And if that's a stretch, then you realize, oh, I have some homework to do because my appreciation muscle is kind of pathetic. I'm joking, but I'm just seeing somebody at the gym who has been in a coma for a few years, and it's like, oh, lifting anything is a struggle. So this is a trained thing. We don't need to listen to the mind because it'll come up with all sorts of wonky stuff when, if you've had a bit of a challenge, which every relationship does. But I want you to remember why you were drawn to them in the first place, and remember who they are under their baggage, and vice versa. Because there is a new start, and it's not just a little thing. This person, and maybe you're already seeing this. Maybe this is just condoning or kind of encouraging you that you're not crazy, that there is a little, there's either the potential or there's already, I think for some of you, there's already this spark happening with this person, that you're seeing, that you're both feeling more joy, that you're feeling like you're stepping into your energy and yourself again, or at least trying to take those baby steps. And you may notice just a few little moments of a sweet little glint in their eye, or just a little bit more warmth, a little bit more joy, that they are or will vibe off of your positivity and your groundedness in your own healing. Because we don't want to be codependent. We don't want to, I'm only happy when my partner's acting, the way I want. That's a catastrophe, because we're all human. We're all going through crazy stuff all the time. So, but this Ace of Pentacles is not just an Ace of Pentacles. That's why they told me about this card before we even started. This is a whole big giant Ace of Pentacles, like the Ace of Pentacles that grows from a seed into the giant oak tree that lives for gajillions of years. This is some serious roots getting started. There is a big potential if you keep, and you got to have patience, because I'm just noticing I got really pulled to this little snail. It's like, just chill out. You're just in the Page of Wands. This is just a new, it's getting a little fire back. Maybe there's a little more flirtation. Maybe there's going to be a little more playfulness or romantic energy, or just like fiery fun and playfulness or kindness, whatever that energy, however that shows up for you. But this is, if you will take very seriously, and I'm seeing the first, I'm seeing number 1, and they're showing me the cards. So you may want to go back to pile 1, which will inadvertently leave you to pile 2. But there's probably something in there for you, that this ace is, this is not a little thing that I'm talking about today. While it's just the Page of Wands starting with this person, you staying on your path, you doing everything that you can to love yourself, to fill your own tank, to make yourself happy, to really get on board and on track with living your own life mission, figuring out what that is and doing it, throwing yourself into some passion project. You putting your mask on yourself is going to right this person energetically. If they're off and you've been off, that's tough. But if you take care of you, you give that person some breathing room so they don't have to worry. Men tend to feel this kind of almost genetic primal need to make sure their partner is okay. And if you've been going through it, that can keep them in this imbalanced state as well. So I want you to know that there is such potential, but it will take a lot of baby steps. It will take a lot of mindfulness, but it is beautiful, the potential, like big potential. Like, if you're not married, maybe married. If you've been kind of on the fence, not being on the fence anymore. It could just mean a big, beautiful stretch of time coming where it just feels more solid. And they're really anchoring me on that star. This hinges on you doing your work. You're the one listening to this, but you ripple out and you make a difference. You make a way bigger difference in people's lives than you realize. And just know there is something super exciting. The energy is so much lighter this week. There's something shifting this week. So I don't know what you've been up to for the last few weeks if you've been watching, but well done. And keep your head up. This is really good. Really good things bubbling up for all 3 of these groups. So anyway, thanks so much for letting me read for you. And I'm so excited to share whatever's going on. Tell me what the heck this is all about. I am really eager to hear. And if you've got questions, shoot those over to me too. All right, huge love. Good luck this week. Bye now.